Picture being the single luckiest soul who has ever walked this earth, not because of money or fame, but because you've stumbled onto something almost nobody dares to trust. Life doesn't just happen to you, it answers you back. Every opportunity, every strange coincidence, every door that swings open lines up with what you've quietly assumed about yourself. This world isn't a cold, indifferent machine spinning out random outcomes. It's a mirror, showing you the beliefs you've been holding in secret. To act like the luckiest person alive isn't about faking it. It's about slipping into that private inner room where your reality gets written, not out in the world, but inside your own imagination. The instant you assume you're lucky, you tap into a deeper, unseen rule of existence. To most people, luck just means randomness. But to someone awake to how this works, luck is proof that inner belief and outer life have finally lined up. Ever notice how certain people always land in the right place at the right moment? Doors open for them, chances fall into their lap. You might call that luck, but look closer and you'll find they simply expect good things. They carry an unshakable conviction that life is on their side. That quiet expectation is the real engine behind what we call luck. Not chance, but a law quietly at work. So what happens when you start living from that place? You wake up smiling, not because of what's already true, but because of what you've decided is true inside you. You stop reacting to how things look on the surface and start moving like someone who knows deep down that everything is working in their favor, even when it looks like it's falling apart. Choosing to act like the luckiest person on the planet means assuming nothing is ever out of place, that delays serve a purpose, that a no is secretly redirecting you, that life is constantly conspiring on your behalf even when you can't see the strings being pulled. Closed doors stop looking like failure and start looking like protection. You don't cross your fingers for good outcomes. You claim them ahead of time and say thank you before they've shown up. Every move you make gets charged with that unseen confidence, and life can't help but respond. Circumstances rearrange. People gravitate toward your energy. Answers arrive from directions you never expected. Here's where most people get it backwards. They wait to feel lucky until luck actually shows up. But the feeling has to come first. You have to occupy the mood of the answered prayer before the answer physically arrives. That's the correct order. Take on the feeling of being favored right now, and the world will eventually bend to match it. You don't need to be born wealthy to live like someone who is. All you need is to wake up to the fact that you get to choose your own assumptions. Right now, you can start moving through life as though every room you enter has already been arranged in your favor, as if every situation is quietly tilting your way before you can even see it. That's the entire secret behind acting like the luckiest person alive. Release what things look like on the surface and step directly into the state you're after, not by waiting for it, but by living inside it starting now. Because the world has no option but to reflect your inner world back at you. You aren't fate's passenger, you're its author. There's a hidden chamber inside every one of us where the script of our life actually gets composed, not by luck, but by the quiet, often overlooked power of assumption. Underneath the illusion of some people being blessed and others cursed, a precise spiritual rule is always running. Whatever you assume to be true, and keep assuming with real feeling, eventually shows up as your lived experience. This isn't a slogan, it's cause and effect on a spiritual level. Acting like the luckiest person alive means intentionally dropping that assumption into the soil of your own mind, trusting it has to sprout into something real. Long before the world can show it to you, you have to feel it first. You don't need evidence to accept something as true internally. And once you accept it as fact within, your outer circumstances start rearranging to match it. What people usually call luck is misread, treated as a coin flip nobody could have predicted. But real luck, understood spiritually, is the natural output of inner alignment. When your thoughts and emotions all point toward the same picture of favor, what unfolds in your outer life looks effortless, almost magical to onlookers. But to you, it's simply the law playing out, the visible result of something you believed long before you saw it. Looking back, you'll notice that every so-called lucky break followed a moment where something shifted internally first, a jolt of confidence, a willingness to imagine good things were possible for you. In that instant, you weren't hoping for change, you were syncing up with it, and that agreement started pulling together everything needed to make it real. That's alignment, what the world simply mislabels as luck. Living from the end means occupying right now in your mind and your feelings the state of already having what you want. Most people chase their goals, waiting for circumstances to shift before they let themselves feel differently. But the deeper truth flips that entirely. You aren't waiting on life, life is waiting on you. The outside world is just a mirror, quietly echoing back whatever you've accepted internally as true. When you live from the end, you stop asking how you'll get there, and instead settle into the place where it's already finished, imagining it so richly that reality bends to match the scene already playing in your mind. This isn't pretending. It's recognizing that your current circumstances are just leftovers from old beliefs, holding no more power than the creative force already sitting inside you. And gratitude, in its truest form, isn't a response to something that's already happened. It's a statement of trust in what hasn't shown up yet. Most people wait for the gift before saying thanks. But gratitude was never meant to follow the miracle. It's meant to summon it. When you thank life in advance, you're aligning yourself with a reality that already exists, just not yet visible. And through your gratitude, you call it into view. Saying thank you before there's any sign of movement is really saying, I trust what I can't yet see. That takes real courage, and it's proof of faith. Reality doesn't start with evidence, it starts with belief. This kind of gratitude doesn't beg or plead. It claims, standing steady in the middle of the storm and whispering, thank you, even while nothing on the surface has changed yet, because something has already shifted underneath. Your state of being isn't just a passing mood. It's the quiet force shaping everything around you, the frequency you broadcast into every room and every conversation. While most people fixate on controlling outcomes, those who understand this law know it all starts on the inside. Your state draws your circumstances always. Walk through life anchored in fear, and everything you meet will hand that fear back to you. Carry the belief that you're overlooked, and situations will show up to confirm exactly that. But the instant you shift your internal state toward favor, worthiness, and peace, the outside world has no choice but to bend and reflect that change. Because the world doesn't hand you what you want. It hands you who you are. Everything you see around you is simply a reflection of what's living inside your mind. If you want wealth beyond anything you can currently measure, don't wait for it. Assume it's already yours. Picture yourself right now as the wealthiest person alive, with no one richer than you anywhere. Walk as though abundance follows your every step. Don't wish for it or hope for it, know it, and let the certainty of your inner world grow so strong that the outer world has no option but to rearrange itself to match. This isn't pretending, which implies lack. It's embodying, a full acceptance of a truth already yours. Step into that state today and let your thoughts, feelings, and actions all move in agreement with the reality that you are already living inside limitless abundance. The mind, once properly aimed, is the single most powerful force there is. It doesn't create through effort, it creates through belief. Whatever you accept as true in your imagination eventually solidifies into fact in the physical world. That's the law running underneath all creation, and it plays no favorites. It simply answers whatever assumption sits deepest within you. The moment you start wondering whether this will actually work for you, you've already dropped an obstacle right into your own path. Doubt only shows up because old assumptions still carry weight somewhere in your mind. But the past has zero power over you. The only thing that counts is what you're assuming right now, in this instant. Assume wealth now, keep dwelling inside that assumption, and your reality has to reshape itself to match. There's no room in creation for contradiction. You can't assume abundance one moment and slide back into scarcity thinking the next. You have to stay steady in your conviction. Think of a sculptor working on a statue. He doesn't pause halfway through and question whether the shape will emerge. He holds the finished masterpiece in his mind and works with total certainty until it appears. Your wealth works the exact same way. Hold firm to the assumption that it's already done. Live as though you already possess every bit of the abundance you could ever need. Nothing in this world runs on chance. Everything is the outcome of consciousness. There's no such thing as luck, and there's no outside force deciding who gets to be wealthy. There's only assumption, and the second you shift it, your reality shifts with it. What would happen if you never entertained the idea of lack again? If you stopped questioning whether you could have something, stopped doubting that you were the wealthiest person alive, and simply embraced that identity fully, without hesitation? Everything would change. Opportunities that once felt out of reach would suddenly appear. Resources that once felt scarce would flow with ease. The struggles that used to hold you back would simply dissolve, not because you fought them off, but because your new assumption no longer leaves room for them in your reality. This is the secret behind every act of manifestation. The world can't help but hand you back whatever beliefs you're holding on to. Keep insisting on wealth, refuse to settle for anything less, and the outer world is forced to line up with that truth. Nothing can override your own consciousness. You're the operating power here, and you've been handed dominion over your own reality. So right now, in this exact moment, claim your wealth. Don't ask for it, don't wish for it, assume it, let it be settled in your mind, and watch the world bend around the weight of that assumption. There's a real difference between pretending and embodying. Pretending is acting as though something is true while your heart still doesn't buy it. A surface-level act that crumbles the moment life pushes back. Embodying is something else entirely. It's fully accepting a truth that hasn't shown up in the physical world yet, knowing beyond any doubt that what you assume is already real, regardless of what your senses are telling you. When you embody a state, you don't need to prove a thing to anyone. It flows out of you naturally because you've made it your reality. Imagine for a moment that you're the wealthiest person alive, not someone who simply has a lot of money, but someone who embodies limitless abundance itself. How would that feel in your body? How would you walk, speak, think? You wouldn't hesitate. You wouldn't shrink back from a financial decision. You'd carry yourself with a quiet, unshakable confidence, knowing money was never something to worry about, that opportunities came to you naturally, that wealth was simply part of who you are. That feeling has to take root in you, not as an act performed for other people's benefit, but as a full assumption of wealth as your natural state, until the outer world has no choice but to mirror it back. Genuinely wealthy people don't spend their days worrying over money or wondering if they can afford something. Their wealth doesn't live only in a bank account. It lives in their consciousness, in a deep-rooted sense of abundance they're carrying at every moment. That's exactly why more wealth flows to them so easily. It isn't luck or some special privilege. It's simply that they assume themselves wealthy, and the world answers that assumption. Plenty of people get this backwards. They think manifesting wealth means going through the motions of being rich, spending money they don't have, dressing a certain way, projecting an image. But that approach falls apart because it treats wealth as something external, something you can imitate, rather than something you fully absorb inside yourself. Real wealth begins on the inside. Assume you're rich, and your actions will follow naturally, not because you're trying to convince anyone, but because that's simply the state you're now operating from. Picture someone who's always been wealthy. They don't wake up wondering if they can afford something. They don't run every purchase through a filter of scarcity. They trust that money is always there, and so it is, effortlessly, consistently. Now compare that to someone desperately chasing wealth while still gripping an inner belief in lack. They might dress the part and talk the part, But underneath it all, doubt and worry are still running the show, and no amount of outward effort changes their reality. The difference always comes down to the state of being, not the actions performed on the surface.
You cannot force wealth into existence through action alone. The action has to rise naturally out of the state you already embody. If you're genuinely wealthy in consciousness, your choices and your energy will reflect that without any strain. You'll stop second-guessing yourself around money, stop needing to impress anyone with possessions, and instead carry a quiet assurance that everything you need is already yours. None of this means reckless spending or ignoring financial responsibility. Embodying wealth isn't a license for carelessness. It's a shift in perception. You can be sitting in the exact same circumstances today and feel entirely different about them. And in feeling different, you set the whole process of change in motion. Keep holding the state of being rich, refuse to entertain thoughts of lack, and eventually the world has to conform, not as wishful thinking, but as the actual mechanics of how reality operates. Your mind is the creator behind everything. Believe wealth is distant and difficult, and that's exactly the experience you'll get. But truly accept wealth as your natural identity, and everyone and everything around you, people, opportunities, resources, will start realigning with the state you've chosen. The real secret to wealth was never found in strategies or clever techniques. It's found in the simple, profound ability to embody the state of being rich without hesitation, without doubt, without waiting on the world to confirm it first. Each morning, step straight into the feeling of being the wealthiest person alive. Don't question it or analyze whether it's working, just assume it. Walk with the energy of someone who knows they have more than enough. Speak with the calm of someone who's never once worried about money, and make every decision from a place of total financial freedom. The instant you fully embrace that state, you'll notice the world responding differently. Money was never something separate from you, something you had to chase down through years of struggle. It's simply a reflection of your inner world, a direct result of the state you've chosen to occupy. The way you carry yourself through the world is really a silent announcement of who you believe you are. Not through loud declarations or flashy displays, but through the quiet energy you radiate and the unshakable assurance that you already have everything you need. A genuinely wealthy person doesn't walk into a room hoping to prove something. They don't shrink, and they don't overcompensate trying to impress anyone. They simply are. Their presence draws attention without effort, their movements calm and unhurried, because they know things unfold in their favor. Compare that to someone who wants wealth but hasn't yet claimed that identity. Their energy tells a different story, tinged with hesitation and a quiet insecurity beneath the surface, often reaching for outside validation to confirm their worth. Real wealth never needs applause. It doesn't need to be announced. It's simply lived, and it shows up in how you hold yourself, how you interact with people, how you make decisions. All of it a mirror of the beliefs sitting underneath. Money, like everything else, is drawn to certainty. It doesn't chase after people who fear its absence or believe they have to struggle for it. It flows toward those who welcome it with ease and see themselves as its rightful owner. So the real key was never in striving harder. It's in assuming, not wishing, not asking when it's coming, but living now as though it's already arrived. Stop treating money as something you have to chase and start treating it as something that flows naturally toward you, and the struggle simply dissolves. You stop making decisions from fear, stop delaying opportunities out of financial hesitation, and start moving with the quiet confidence that every step you take is already backed by more abundance than your eyes can currently see. Assume the feeling now. Wealth must follow. Real wealth isn't built through hustle. It's unlocked through alignment. If you're constantly pushing, forcing, or straining to make money appear, you're still operating from lack, no matter how hard you work. The people who live in genuine abundance aren't necessarily the busiest or most exhausted. They're the ones who've learned to move in harmony with prosperity instead of fighting for it.
They carry themselves with quiet certainty. They think, speak, and act as though the life they want is already theirs, not something they're waiting to earn. You can start shifting into that state right now. Take a breath and imagine, just for a second, that everything you want has already arrived. Let that sense of ease, safety, and quiet confidence settle into you. Then begin making choices from that place, not from panic, not from scarcity, but from the calm assumption that you're already provided for. As you do this consistently, life has a strange way of rearranging itself to match what you've claimed internally. You don't have to chase money or squeeze it out of the world through sheer effort. You simply have to stop doubting that it's already yours. The instant you fully embody that belief, no hesitation, no "when will this happen?" no bargaining, it tends to show up. Wealth isn't something you conquer from the outside. It's something you grow into on the inside, and the outer world eventually catches up to reflect it back to you. This shift matters because your outer circumstances are really just an echo of your inner assumptions. If you constantly see yourself as someone who's scraping by, always chasing the next dollar, that's the story your reality will keep confirming. But the moment you genuinely believe, not perform, not pretend, but believe, that you're already secure, already whole, already provided for, the conditions around you start to shift to match that belief. Picture two people walking into the exact same opportunity. One is anxious, calculating every risk, silently convinced that success is hard to come by and maybe not meant for them. The other walks in expecting good things, unbothered by outcomes, simply assuming that doors open easily for them. Same room, same chance, completely different results, shaped entirely by what each person expected going in. Notice too how you talk about money. Phrases like, "I can't afford this," or "there's never enough," aren't neutral. They're quiet instructions you're giving your own mind, and your mind tends to follow orders. Try replacing them with statements that assume ease. "Money moves toward me easily. I'm always taken care of." It'll feel unnatural at first, since it doesn't match your current evidence. But that's exactly the point. You're not describing what is, you're calling in what you intend to create. Gratitude speeds this along too. Appreciating what you already have, even small amounts, sends a signal of abundance rather than lack. In the end, you don't attract what you chase. You attract what you've quietly decided you already are.